Being a preemie mom was never part of your plan, was it? But here you are, juggling hospital stays, new medical terms, maybe even feeding tubes or breathing support. And now you're looking at your baby and wondering, when it comes to milestones, what's normal? Should I be worried? Or is my baby simply on a different timeline? So that's exactly what I'm going to break down for you today. Well, hey there, if we haven't met yet, my name is Ehrica and I'm a pediatric developmental therapist. And inside of the Milestone Mom Academy, I teach moms step by step how to track their baby or toddler's development so they can feel confident about what's typical and when to get extra support. If you're interested in that, I will leave a link in the description below. I would love for you to join us. So in this video, I'm going to show you the common milestone patterns that preemies typically follow, what adjusted age really means, and the red flags worth paying attention to. And by the end, you'll know how to focus on your baby's unique path and celebrate each little victory instead of stressing over comparisons. So here's the first thing I want you to know. Preemie milestones are not the same as full-term milestones. Now, if your baby was born early, we use their adjusted age. That means that we measure their development from their due date, not their birth date. So if your baby was born 2 months early and is now 6 months old, their adjusted age is 4 months, and we will adjust for age until 24 months. If you do want a deeper dive into adjusted age and how to calculate it, I've linked another video in the description for you to watch next. So now that you know how adjusted age works, let's talk about what preemie milestone patterns actually look like. Now, as a developmental therapist, I want you to hear this from me. It's completely normal for preemies to follow a different path than full-term babies. If you've ever scrolled milestone charts or social media, it can feel discouraging when your baby isn't doing the things at the same time as others. But that doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong, because most preemies do actually catch up to their peers, but the journey can look just a little bit different. Some babies may hit motor skills like rolling or crawling later, while others surprise us and show strong fine motor skills or social engagement earlier than expected. And some preemies don't even have a delay. When I go into families' homes and test little ones, if they were 6 months old and born 2 months early, I will test them at 4 months, and sometimes they come out at a 6-month level. So it really just depends on your baby. Now, it is also common for progress to come in different bursts. So let's say that your baby might spend weeks working on holding their head up, and they're trying to master that. And then suddenly they're grasping toys or rolling over almost overnight. And also remember that the sequence can vary. Some babies pour their energy into social skills like smiling and babbling before their motor skills take off, while others focus on movement first. And neither path is wrong. It's just their unique way of developing. So here's a few key takeaways I want you to hold on to. There's a wide range of normal for preemies. Instead of comparing directly to full-term babies, look at your child's progress, use their adjusted age as your guide, and celebrate every step forward. Every smile, every grasp, every wiggle, those are true victories. Okay. Now, I want to point out just a few red flags I want you to look for in your preemie. While many preemies, like I said, do catch up very, very beautifully, there are times when delays may signal something more. Red flags don't always mean something is wrong, but they are guideposts that help us catch challenges early. Okay, so here are some specific red flags to keep in mind. Is your baby's body constantly stiff or unusually floppy? A floppy baby can sometimes signal hypotonia, and a stiff baby can sometimes mean hypertonia. If this is the case, I would definitely bring this up to your pediatrician. Next, I want you to remember that around 6 months adjusted age, because our baby was born premature, your baby should have a pretty good head control. If their head is still flopping forward or backward most of the time, that's definitely worth noting. And then by 9 months adjusted age, most babies are rolling and starting to sit. So if your baby isn't making those attempts yet, it might be worth bringing it up to your pediatrician. Next, around 12 months adjusted age, at this point, they're crawling, they're pulling to stand, maybe they're even taking their first steps, and they're experimenting with different sounds like babbling and imitating your voice. And finally, I just want to tell you to trust your gut. You know your baby better than anyone else. And if something feels off, you don't need to wait it out and see. Even if you go to your pediatrician and they say, let's wait a little bit, you don't have to do that. I will actually leave a link in the description below so you can find the early intervention program in your state. So if your child is between the ages of birth and 36 months, you yourself can refer to the early intervention program. I always say that a mom's spidey sense is never wrong. So if something does feel off, or if you're questioning something, bring it up to your pediatrician. Call the early intervention program. The good news is that when red flags are caught early, there's so much support that's available. Like I said, early intervention can provide the right tools at the right time, and it can make such an incredible difference in your child's development. And maybe you're already in early intervention. I know a lot of times we will get referrals from the NICU for little ones, so it's possible that you're currently in the early intervention program. So I bet you're asking yourself what you can do as a parent to help your preemie thrive. Let's go ahead and break this down a little bit into 3 big areas. So it's very important the environment that you create. Preemies often do best in calm, consistent surroundings, the reduction of loud noise, harsh lightings, while offering safe stimulation. Sometimes this is a big change for babies, especially coming from the NICU, where all the bells and whistles are going off 24/7. Simple things like placing a toy just out of reach from them or letting them explore textures can support motor and sensory growth. Short and frequent tummy time sessions are also very powerful. Even just a minute or 2 at a time adds up. And as your little one gets older, you can increase that time. Talk to your baby often, even narrating your routines. Let's change your diaper. We're opening the window. Your voice is one of the strongest tools for language and connection. So just talking to them. Let's go open the window. Let's go let the dog out. Oh, wow, do you see the plane? Reading simple books, singing, and responding to their sounds all lay the foundation for communication. And I do want to tell you, if your little one is in early intervention, and if physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, developmental therapy are recommended, don't be intimidated. Therapists give you exercises and strategies that you can weave into your daily routines with your little one, so it feels natural instead of overwhelming. I know a lot of times in our area, if services are recommended 1 time a week, the therapist will go into the family's home and it's completely family-based. You're able to observe the therapist working with your child. She gives you homework to work on through the week until she comes back next. So it's very, very family-centered. And above all, mama, I want you to give yourself grace. Parenting a preemie often means more appointments, more unknowns, and sometimes more worry. Think about where you just came from. If your baby does have a trach or a feeding tube or is on oxygen, these things can be so scary, especially if you just brought your new little one home after being in the NICU for 2 months. There's so many things going on in your life right now, and I want you to extend yourself grace. And I want you to remember that development isn't a race. Every smile, every lift of the head, every sound is worth celebrating. Okay. Before we close, I want to pause and speak to your mama heart. Being a preemie mom means that you've already walked through some serious challenges most parents never face. You've navigated hospital rounds, medical jargon, and long nights of worry. That takes a lot of courage and resilience. Your baby's timeline may look a little different, but that doesn't make it less valid or less beautiful. In fact, it makes every milestone even more meaningful. They're on their own path, and you are the perfect mom chosen to walk right alongside them. All right, now that you know what's normal and what's not normal in preemie development, the next step is learning how to adjust for prematurity. Now you can watch that video right here or dive into this series right over here. And as always, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in one of the next videos. All right, bye-bye.